Guys, check this out. I got this little guy here and this little guy here. I was crafting up one of the million trapdoors that I had to craft for this build, and even though I've got a million torches, a skeleton came over here and tried to take me out, and these little guys were wild, not even tamed, and took him out, so I had to keep them. So I'm gonna have to get some names for them and park them up here in the front of the storage building when it's done here. Speaking of trapdoors, it's like 1/3 trapdoors for this build. That's crazy. But, you know, anytime you can use trapdoors or walls or slabs or anything like that, it's going to give it texture, it's going to give it definition, and those are the things we're really looking for in a build. We really want to kind of get away from that just, you know, single block, single block, single block. You know, we want some dimension to it. But let's go ahead and wrap up here, and let me go ahead and get my replay going, and I will film that, and then I'll bring you back in after, and we'll take a look. Ooh, it's really dark out here. Let me get in here and sleep real quick. I hate sleeping out here in this building. It's pretty dark. It's pretty creepy.
Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? Nowhere to go, so far from home. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? So I break these walls and hold my head up high, and I step my ground until the day I die. As the rain falls down, there's no more tears to cry. So I break these walls and hold my head up high. No, I'm not giving in. No, I'm not giving in. No, I'm not giving in.
Wow, that didn't seem very restful. Anyway, alright, so we've got this pretty much done on the outside here. Just going to have to figure out the inside. I've got another server member who's wanting to possibly share storage, and I'm fine with that. However, I kind of have to think about that when I'm designing this now, because I was going to have different sections that were kind of, some were manual, some were auto, some were like bulk shulker loaders, and I don't really know that my setup would fit for them. So I don't want them to have to come along and learn my manual storage section. So I don't know quite what I want to do there yet, so I'm going to take a little bit of time and think about that before we get this sorted out or gone a little further. However, you can kind of see on the inside here what I was talking about with all the trap doors. I mean, it's just a ton of trap doors, and I love this look here from the outside. And if you didn't want to do trap doors, you could line like the inside with another wall. I mean, this building's plenty big enough to do that. And when you have that lining in there, then that would give you another place to put some glass panes or even blocks. It just kind of gives an extra layer of detail. Also, that'll let you, like, you can see how this is kind of caved in here. Like if you have two sections and you build something here, like a armoire or bookshelves or something, you can put bookshelves in here and it will give it an extra layer of depth too. So it'll look like the shelving is actually part of in the wall, which is pretty nice. But if I come out here, you can see all these traps again, and I love, lining them here. Just kind of anything to throw off that, one block look. And if you look, everything is pretty much, there's a rule of where every 3 block squares, you want to make sure there's something in there. So if you look at the street here, I mean, you go along, you don't really see too many places that are, a 3x3 that doesn't have something in it. Usually 2x2 or 2x3 is the most you're going to find before there's some other texture of some sort. And when it comes to texture on this particular build, you notice there really isn't any random texture in here. It's all really formal. Because it's a building and because I wanted it to feel new, that means I kind of wanted to stay away from that. If I put too much of that type of thing in here, you get that broken kind of dirty look. It's going to make it older, and I don't want this to feel like an old building in a new city. I want it to feel like a new building in a new city. That makes any sense. I want kind of the whole style out here to be about 1920s or so. I mean, there'll be some variation. We're not going to be a complete stickler for all of that, but I just didn't want to put that in here. And you can see here, like, even the blocks that I've chosen, you've got the polished granite here on the bottom floor, and then when you go up to the floors above it, it switches to just a plain granite, and that really helps kind of delineate between the ground floor and the next floor. And the same with the mud brick versus the mud blocks. That also, especially when you're back here, it really visually separates those out and kind of makes us feel a little heavier down here, a little more solid, which building that size, it kind of needs that. I really love these curves. It's got a great view from over here. I did notice during the replay, though, that there were a few places, like there's a trapdoor that needs to be flipped. There's a few places that, there was a trapdoor out of place, or I just didn't get it, but it's kind of tough to get all that, sorted the first try. So I'll get out here and fix some of these, mistakes that are out here and make sure it's all perfect. But you can't really beat yourself up when you do stuff like this, especially large builds like this. You're always going to want to come back and kind of pick at it or play with it, or change minor things, or you see something you don't like. I know there was also one spot, and I fixed it in the time lapse. You may have caught that towards the end. There was a trap door on the other side on the top floor that I had missed in the windows, and it's for this I want it to look fairly new, so I went ahead and fixed it. But if I wanted to make this old, I could leave out a couple of those trap doors for those whites, and it really would look like a broken window, and it would have put some age to this building really quickly. So those are fun little things. I love the roads out here too. It's really heavily inspired by Aquatown, from Scar. Of course, his were, he did the basalt, but of course he didn't do stairs up. He did half slabs to the building. So if I had done that, there would have been a half slab up here, and then of course with the trap doors, there would have been a place where, you know, you're not quite meeting up next to it. And he has some pretty clever tricks to kind of get away from that, but I really wanted the design to be straight to the floor here on this, and in a couple other builds that are going to be out here. So I went ahead and did the full block here, and you know, I mean, it's a step. It's not like it's too bad, and I can still come along here and, you know, put some grates in and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Time will tell. But I think it's going to be a great building site. I can't wait to get some more stuff out here and give you guys an opportunity to kind of come along with the journey and see this little silly city develop. I still need a name for it, so I got to think about that too. There's a lot to think about in this little build here. Anyway, I hope you like this type of content. If you do, leave a like, subscribe, maybe a comment or two. Kind of helps us get going. We'll see you next time. Thank you.